You know, we've all heard those classic David versus Goliath stories. But this battle, well, it's not on some ancient field. The battleground is a modern suburban neighborhood. And the weapons? They're bylaws, meeting minutes, and one very, very expensive wall.
Just take a look at this number. Let it sink in for a second. $9,342.60. Now, this isn't the price of a fancy vacation or a new car. This was a bill.
So I want you to imagine for a minute. What if your homeowners association, your HOA, suddenly demanded you pay this exact amount for a wall you were pretty sure they were supposed to fix? Well, one homeowner found herself in exactly that spot, and it kicked off a legal fight that lasted for years, and it all came down to a few key words and a long history of actions.
All right, so let's set the stage and meet the players. On one side, you've got the homeowner, Teresa Johnstonbaugh. And on the other, you've got the Clemente Ranch Homeowners Association down in Chandler, Arizona. And what were they fighting over? A crumbling backyard wall. You know how these things go, right? It always starts with something small. A backyard wall started showing its age way back in 2012. And for years, it just kind of sat there. But then, that simmering problem completely boiled over when the HOA suddenly slapped her with that bill for over $9,000 to get it fixed. Okay, so you gotta be asking, right? Why was she getting a bill for a wall she thought was the HOA's job to handle? Well, this is where it gets interesting. The entire case, the whole fight, would end up hinging on the definition of one single term in the HOA's own rulebook. So here's the breakdown. The two opposing sides. It's pretty simple, really. The homeowner, Teresa, she's saying, hey, this wall is part of a common area. That's on you guys to fix. But the HOA, they eventually came back and said, nope, that's your private property, and you owe us for half of the repair cost. So, what in the world is a common area? And here is the real kicker. The definition of common area wasn't some mystery. It comes directly from the HOA's own rulebook, their CC&Rs. The homeowner's argument was super straightforward. My wall is on the boundary line, right next to a common area that you guys have always maintained. Case closed, right?
She then pointed them to this specific rule, which is about as crystal clear as you can get. It says the board must, not should, but must, provide for the upkeep of all common areas. Her point was, look, by billing me, you're not just being unfair, you are literally breaking your own rules.
Now this is where the story takes a really fascinating turn. We have to look at the timeline. Because for years, the HOA acted one way, and then their story completely flipped right when the money got really, really serious.
Just follow the money here. Go all the way back to 2012. The HOA board's own meeting minutes, their own records, show they resolved to pay for the cost of the wall repair. In 2013, they even approved a proposal for almost $17,000. So they were acting like it was their responsibility. Then, whoosh, fast forward to 2019. Hidden defects are discovered, and the project cost explodes to over $2.5 million. And what happens next? Surprise, surprise, they get a new lawyer, do a complete 180, and start sending bills to the homeowners.
And get this, here's their official explanation. They basically said, oops, our old lawyer gave us bad advice. I mean, talk about convenient timing, right? A sudden change of heart, right when the bill jumped from thousands to millions of dollars.
So as you can imagine, this whole mess landed right in front of a judge. And the question was pretty simple. Should the homeowner have to pay? And really, it all boiled down to this. What matters more? An HOA's past actions or its brand new legal argument?
Well, the verdict was clear, and it was decisive. The petition was granted, the judge sided entirely with the homeowner, the HOA was ordered to comply with its own bylaws and take care of the wall. So why? Why did she win so convincingly? It wasn't just about the definition in the rulebook. The judge was way more persuaded by one simple, powerful idea. The HOA's own behavior over all those years.
And this is really the heart of the matter. The judge looked at the evidence. The HOA always maintained the land right next to the wall. They're the ones who started the repair process themselves, they voted to pay for it, and they only changed their position when the price tag got scary. Heck, they even tore down part of the wall and put up a temporary fence, which basically screams, we control this property, right? In the end, their actions spoke a whole lot louder than their new lawyer's words.
So what can we all learn from this? This case is a really powerful lesson for anyone who lives in a community with an HOA, and it's about governance and your rights as a homeowner.
So first off, remember this. Past actions matter. What an HOA does is often way more important than what it says later on. Second, consistency is absolutely key. You can't just change the rules because they get expensive. Third, and this is a big one, document everything. Those old meeting minutes were a total smoking gun in this case. And finally, you've got to read your documents. Know your rights before you need them.
And that really brings us to the final question you should be asking yourself. How does your own HOA operate? Are the rules applied fairly and consistently for everyone, year after year? Because as this whole $9,000 fight over one wall proves, knowing the answer to that question, well, it can make all the difference.